Good Wednesday evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to tonight's top stories, let's head outside. Take a quick look outside our weather window from this afternoon. A mix of clouds and sun throughout early afternoon, and then things cleared up late in the day, and that allowed us to warm up out there. We did see wind, and with the low humidities out there, a red flag warning has been in effect since 2 o'clock this afternoon. That will expire at 8 o'clock tonight. We could see wind gusts up to 30 miles an hour, and as I mentioned, those humidities very low today. Any new fire could spread rapidly because of our current conditions, so be extra careful out there. We'll have your complete forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the news stories we're following for you tonight. Two semis collided on Highway 26 south of Vantage yesterday morning, rupturing a fuel tank on one and spilling about 100 gallons of diesel fuel. The drivers of both vehicles were hospitalized Monday afternoon when a pickup crashed into the back of a Link bus in Wenatchee. And Chelan County will soon have a new set of flood basins to control runoff in Number 1 Canyon. But first, our top story tonight. In the last 4 days, first responders have been summoned to 5 water rescues on the Wenatchee River near Leavenworth, including one last night that resulted in a fatality. Firefighters say a woman in her 40s died after struggling with her float tube near Barn Beach Reserve. It's the first drowning death on that stretch of the river this year and the third in Chelan County as a whole. An assistant fire chief with the Leavenworth Department told NCWLIFE such incidents have become much more common each summer.
The victim was on a inner tube and missed the Barn Beach exit point, which most tubes use as their final moorage as they come down the river. She lost control of her tube and was more concerned about getting her tube as it floated downriver. And during that period, she got into kind of a area just east of Barn Beach that is kind of the beginning of the rapids, and was subsequently retrieved by family members, and CPR was initiated immediately. Yeah, we were unfortunately not able to revive her. As soon as we got done with that call, we received yet another river rescue with 4 victims that were in distress floating down the river, which also missed the Barn Beach exit and got into the rapids. 6 years ago, these were pretty rare occurrences in the Leavenworth area, and we are becoming essentially inundated with these calls almost daily now during this period of the year. And of course, they're extremely resource dependent. Victims are moving large distances down the river and being swept away, which requires all these resources to be spread out throughout the river. It's kind of the new paradigm that we live in up here in Leavenworth.
Chief Brodesett tells us river users need to be prepared when they set out to float the strong cold current. First, wear a reliable personal flotation device. Second, be aware of river conditions and your own swimming and rafting ability. And third, don't use cheap, easily punctured tubes and rafts when floating the Wenatchee or any other river. 2 semis collided on Highway 26 south of Vantage yesterday morning, rupturing a fuel tank on one and spilling about 100 gallons of diesel fuel. Washington State Patrol Sergeant John Bryant said just before 9 a.m., a semi turning onto the highway off Highway 243 pulled into the path of a southbound flatbed semi, and the two collided, rupturing the semi's fuel tank. There were no injuries, but the highway was partially blocked for almost 5 hours while crews cleared the scene and cleaned up the fuel. The driver of the enclosed semi was cited for failing to yield the right-of-way. Well, the drivers of both vehicles were hospitalized Monday afternoon after a pickup crashed into the back of a Link bus in Wenatchee. Wenatchee Police Department Captain Brian Chance said the driver of the pickup was cited for following too closely, causing the 3:10 p.m. accident on Northwestern Avenue and Orondo Avenue. Chance said the pickup driver suffered a head injury after his airbag deployed, and the driver of the bus had an undisclosed injury. Both were transported to Central Washington Hospital. Chance said no one else was hurt, and the injuries to both drivers were believed to be minor. Chelan County will soon have a new set of flood basins to control runoff in No. 1 Canyon. County commissioners on Tuesday approved an $851,000 contract with KRCI Construction for work to begin later this summer. The 4 new basins are meant to catch mud and debris during heavy rain before the runoff can threaten homes and stormwater systems downstream toward the city of Wenatchee. The 4 new basins will work in tandem with detention basins that were built lower down the canyon back in 2015. Well, when we come back, voters in the Eastmont School District will decide on a $185 million construction bond in the November election. A new draft scientific report recommends steps to restore the health of Columbia River salmon, and among them, the breaching of 1 or more lower Snake River dams. The new fire station in Winthrop will have a special look inside thanks to a TWISP artist. And a pair of World War II planes will be flying into Pangbourne Memorial Airport coming up in August. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
We get it. Tent camping can be a nightmare. You freeze all night and sweat all day. Well, now you can ditch the tent and camp in comfort during the Click It RV Tent Trade-In event. Bring us your old tent and get $1,000 towards your RV purchase during the month of July. As always, we've got the best price, selection, and service in the Northwest. Visit any one of our 4 locations in Spokane, Tri-Cities, Moses Lake, or Milton Freewater today. The Tent Trade-In event, going on now at Click It RV.
Introducing Alpine Airman. Because every home needs a superhero to eliminate poor indoor air quality, send inefficient operating equipment packing, and cut high energy bills down to size. For heating or cooling and equipment replacement, turn to the experts and the superheroes at Carrier and Alpine Air. We offer the best deals on high-efficiency Carrier products, along with friendly, knowledgeable service and incredible savings to fit your budget.
Welcome back. In another news, voters in the Eastmont School District will decide on a $185 million construction bond in the November election. The school board voted this week to put the second phase of the district's school modernization program up for public vote. It will need 60% support to pass. The proposal would fund numerous projects at schools throughout the district, including the expansion of Cascade, Kenroy, Lee, and Rock Island elementary schools. The measure would cost property owners an additional 63 cents per $1,000 of the assessed value of their home over the life of that 20-year bond. A new draft scientific report recommends steps to restore the health of Columbia River salmon, among them the breaching of 1 or more lower Snake River dams. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration finds, quote, the short-term outlook for most interior Columbia stocks is grim, and also says climate change remediation, including dam removal, may be needed to preserve fish populations in the future. A separate study finds it would take anywhere from $11 billion to $19 billion to replace the energy generation that would be lost by the Snake River's dams removal. The Biden administration says it has not endorsed the actions identified in the draft report, but it's carefully considering the information. The new fire station in Winthrop will have a special look inside thanks to a TWISP artist. Ginger Reddington, who has been an art educator throughout Washington and whose work is displayed throughout the region, donated 7 paintings that feature firefighting scenes. The $5 million station is expected to be completed later this summer, but supply chain issues have pushed the cost up, forcing the district to cut back on furnishings in the building as well as landscaping. Well, a pair of World War II planes will be flying into Pangborn Memorial Airport coming up in August. The Flying Legends of Victory tour will bring the B-17 Flying Fortress Sentimental Journey and the B-25 Mitchell Made in the Shade planes to the East Wenatchee Airport August 1st through the 7th. It'll cost $15 per person or $30 for a family of 4 for a ground tour. That's of the planes and also includes rides, which will be offered Friday through Sunday starting at $375 per person. The planes are from the Air Base Arizona Museum and travel to about 50 cities this year. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Please stay with us.
I'm John Volan, and I'm running for judge here in Chelan County. For more than 20 years, I've upheld the rights of the local community as an attorney, trial lawyer, and part-time judge. This fall, I'm running for district court judge. I'm highly endorsed by the legal and local communities for my thorough, fair-minded, and just approach. I'm the only candidate with civil, criminal experience, but experience as a judge as well. This fall, vote John Volan for Chelan County District Court Judge.
911, what is the address of your emergency?
Yes, it's me. It's my husband. I think there's something the matter with him.
It was a feeling that I'll never forget, like being able to meet them and know that he survived.
Okay, tell me what's happening. Is he conscious?
No, he's not.
Okay, take a deep breath for me. I'm getting you help.
Rivercom means to me that I still have my husband here with me. They're the ones that guided me through saving his life.
I'm Sheriff Brian Burnett. I've developed local relationships, built trust regionally, and brought statewide resources to build a safer Chelan County. As your sheriff, I will continue to enhance safety during these dangerous times. Now is not the time to get soft. Trust my continued leadership to protect our quality of life and your constitutional rights. Your vote matters. Vote Brian Burnett, Chelan County Sheriff.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The animal shelter of the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is full. That's the word from shelter managers this week who are asking those who find stray animals to foster them at home until space opens up. The glut of unhoused animals also means the shelter is asking for donations of certain kinds of pet food and training toys. In tonight's feature story, Taylor Sharp, the executive director of the Humane Society, tells NCWLIFE the contracting economy is forcing more and more people to give up their pets.
Essentially, every 4th of July, around 4th of July, we get an influx of stray animals. There's lots of dogs who really don't appreciate the sound of fireworks, get scared, they bolt, they run. As much as we try to encourage people to, put their pet in a safe space, do all of that, we still get an influx. So around 4th of July, we got more than 25 dogs. We are also in kitten season, so cats tend to have their litters all at the exact same time, and while they're incredibly cute, they come in high volume. So we have a lot of kittens as well, but it's primarily dogs with the strays. The number one reason we are receiving animals at our shelter right now is economic impact. People, their rent went up and they no longer can afford their rent and they can't find a place that's pet friendly, which it's by far the number one reason we have people come in. So a lot of the dogs that we have come in are those larger dogs that don't meet weight restrictions, which is really, really challenging here. And our hearts break for them. We do everything we can to keep animals in their homes, but unfortunately when it comes to housing, there's not that much that we can help with. It's the number one reason for intake across the country right now. Shelters all across the country are struggling to have capacity to get these animals into homes. So if you find a dog that you really like, it fits in your family, still to bring it to us. We have to scan for a microchip. We look for a license and all of that. And then if they are required to do a stray hold, they can't go home at that point. We vaccinate them. We make sure we do an intake exam to make sure they're healthy, and then we provide all the supplies if you're willing to foster them for that 72-hour hold period. We need various supplies. We provide a lot of treats to make animals' stays here as good as possible. So Kongs, wet canned food for dogs and cats is always appreciated. And then if you have extra pet food laying around that's still in its original packaging, we will take that. We do a pet food pantry for those that are facing some economic challenges. We provide pet food once a month, the last Saturday of every month, and it's a huge boost to our community. Our numbers for that have essentially doubled in the last year of how many people we support, how many people and pets we support.
And as a reminder, we will have our Pet of the Week feature tomorrow night from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society for your chance to hopefully adopt a new friend. All right, it was a hot one out there today once again. Beautiful shot looking down at the Wenatchee Valley. A few high to mid-level clouds out there today. It cleared out late in the day, and that's really what bumped our temperature up. We were in the low to mid 80s throughout most of the afternoon, but we did manage to get into the low 90s unofficially today. That might even be 92 before we're all said and done for today. And that's still just a few degrees above where we should be for this time of year at 88. 105 our record going back to 1961. How about this low this morning? 70 degrees. I'm sure you noticed it as you walked out the door this morning. 62 is our normal low. Our record cold, 50 degrees, and that was set back in 1981. Precipitation, we're still at 5.76 inches. That's about an inch and a half above normal for this time of year, but that's almost 3 inches above where we were last year at this time. Sunrise 5:18 and the sun sets tonight at 8:55. Let's take a peek now at your Thursday weather outlook. And yeah, it's going to be a lot like today, maybe even a tick or two warmer in a lot of locations. Moses Lake and Ephrata going to get to 95 tomorrow, 94 in Quincy. In the Wenatchee Valley, about 93. Any at 93. The Upper Valley, a little bit cooler. Leavenworth, tomorrow's high temperature at 91. Taking a look at what we can expect now as we make our way through the rest of the week and into the weekend. Mostly clear tonight. We're going to see diminishing wind a little bit later on. Going to be quite a bit cooler overnight tonight compared to this morning. About 60 tonight for our low. For Thursday, lots of sunshine out there. Less wind too. It's going to be a nice one with high temperatures in the low 90s. Big blocking area of high pressure still over the Pacific, and that's actually going to send that low up to the north. That means hotter weather for Friday. Sunny skies, mid-90s as we end our work week. Getting into the upcoming weekend, maybe a little bit breezy at times on Saturday. It will be slightly cooler. Yeah, low 90s, not much cooler, but better than Friday. Sunday, a little bit breezy as well. We'll see sunny skies, and this is where we will see some cooler temperatures. Upper 80s by the end of this weekend. And kicking off our next work week, we're going to stay about seasonal for this time of year. Sunshine on Monday. Large area of high pressure, but notice it's bringing in a northwest flow of air. That's what's going to keep us in the upper 80s for Monday. And by the end of the forecast on Tuesday, warming back up again. Sunny skies. We're going to see warmer temperatures with highs on Tuesday into the low 90s. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. 59 overnight tonight, 93 tomorrow. Going to see sunny skies right through the end of the week and into the weekend. 94 for Friday will be one of our warmest days. And then a cool down as we get into Sunday. 88 degrees, 89 for your high on Monday. And boy, we're going to stay with that sunshine on Tuesday with a high temperature then of 93 degrees. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Kim Schreier and Joe Biden's reckless spending worsened inflation, and liberals are defunding our police.
I'm Reagan Dunn. As a federal prosecutor and on the county council, I've fought to keep us safe. I'm ready for the battle in Congress to fire Nancy Pelosi and stop Joe Biden's reckless spending. I'll fight to make our streets safe again, and so you can afford to fill up your gas tank. I'm Reagan Dunn, and I approve this message because we need to defeat Kim Schreier to get America back on track.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Wednesday to you. The Mariners won their 9th straight game earlier today with a 6-4 win over the Nationals in Washington. Seattle hit 4 home runs in the game, starting in the first inning on a 3-run bomb by Eugenio Suarez.
That is crushed. Deep left field. The Mariners have an early lead. 3-0 Seattle. Hey now, Gino with a 3-run homer. His 16th of the season. Takes his RBI total to 47. 2 walks, make him pay. Pretty well stroked. Deep right center field. And it is gone. A home run for Jesse Winker. His 7th of the season. And the Mariners have a 4-0 lead. A 2-home run day for Seattle. Mariners, when they get 4 or more. That is an impressive number. That's gone. Wow. Adam Frazier telling me yesterday it's coming, I'm due, and it's working today. 2 for 2, a single, and now a home run. The Mariners have a 5-0 lead. That's his 3rd home run. That's hit well. Right field. Got some carry. Gone. Home run, Cal Raleigh. 6-1 Mariners. For the Mariners, their 4th home run today. For Cal, home run number 12, RBI number 32.
Driven out to left center.
Oh, he did.
This ball's traveling. It's into the bullpen. A 3-run home run off the bat of Juan Soto. And the Nationals have gotten closer now with 2 outs here in the 9th.
That's his combination. 1-2 to Cruz. Fly ball. Coming in, Dylan Moore, and the Mariners have won Game 1 of 2 here in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, the 2 teams wrapping up the second game of that split doubleheader. We'll have highlights tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Well, while the Mariners are currently in a position to make the playoffs for the first time in 21 years, a noticeable absence continues to be Jarred Kelenic. The outfielder was optioned to AAA Tacoma in May after hitting just a .174 in the Mariners' first 2 months of the season. Since joining the Rainiers, Kelenic has hit .299 in 42 games, including his 11th home run last night.
Pepio with the 2-0 pitch coming to Kelenic. And it's a fastball, and he lifts it to right. It's deep. Backing up is Martin, but this ball is gone. Kelenic blasts a 3-run homer to right field. And it is now Oklahoma City 9, Tacoma 4. Kelenic got ahead of the count 2-0, and then he got a fastball up in the zone, and he just plastered it to right field.
Kelenic told MLB.com that he's getting comfortable again as the August 2nd trade deadline looms. It's uncertain how Kelenic figures in Seattle's future plans, considering Julio Rodriguez is blossoming in center field and Mitch Haniger is making a progress in his return. In addition, Kyle Lewis is making strides in coming back, and Jesse Winker has fared well in the outfield. It was a wild one in Texas last night as we opened up the Les Schwab American League West scoreboard. The Rangers scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th to force extra innings, only to see Oakland score 8 runs in the top of the 12th to win it 14-7. Chad Pinder put the exclamation point on the A's comeback with a grand slam in that top of the 12th. Kyle Tucker's RBI double in the top of the 9th broke a tie and gave Houston a 6-5 win over the Angels. Aledmys Diaz led the way for the Astros, going 2 for 3 with a 2-run home run. Well, the Wenatchee Apple Sox had no trouble devouring the fish sticks last night in a non-league game at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium, dunking Dub C 22-2. Wenatchee evens its non-league record to 1-1 while picking up its 4th win in a row last night, as we hear more from the voice of the Apple Sox, Joel Norman.
The Apple Sox returned home and kept hitting on Tuesday night as they defeated the Dub C Fish Sticks 22-2 in their first non-league victory of the season. Wenatchee was coming off of an 18-1 win in Game 2 of a doubleheader on Sunday, and the bats stayed hot. Xander Orejudos collected 3 hits and drove in 5 runs. He was one of 2 Apple Sox hitters with 2 hits, and Wenatchee pretty much went into cruise control after scoring 3 in the second, scored 3 more in the 3rd inning, and from there picked up a couple of 7-run innings late in the ballgame for the win against the Dub C Fish Sticks. Wenatchee goes for the 2-game non-league series sweep on Wednesday when they face Dub C again at 6:35 p.m. And it's a Wenatchee Wednesday. All fans who purchase tickets to the game are eligible to win prizes to local businesses just by coming to the game. Purchase tickets now at saferseating.com or at the gate here at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. With your Apple Sox update, I'm Joel Norman.
Thank you much, Joel. Matt Hallback also had a 3-hit night for Wenatchee, collecting 3 RBI to help Spencer Jewell earn the win on the mound in relief. Now, after tonight's game, Wenatchee has a day off before hosting Corvallis in the first of a 3-game series Friday night. NCWLIFE will have live coverage Friday beginning at 6:30. Other West Coast League play last night. Sam Olson's walk-off RBI single in the bottom of the 9th gave Yakima Valley a 7-6 comeback win over Kamloops. Jude Hall, Paul Myro IV, Bo Sylvester, and Wilson Weber each hit home runs to lead Bend over Walla Walla 13-7. Will Chambers and Justin Trimble hit 2-run home runs in a 5-run 5th inning for Ridgefield as the Raptors beat Bellingham 13-7. Roberto Gonzalez was 3 for 4 with a double and 2 RBI to lead Victoria over Nanaimo 7-3. Michael Campagna was 4 for 5 with a home run and 5 ribbies to power Portland over Springfield 10-1. Kelowna brought 15 men to the plate in a 9-run 4th inning, scoring 3 runs on bases loaded hit batsmen in a 19-2 win over Port Angeles. Derek Biersto pitched a complete game for the Falcons. Ryan Brown and 2 relievers combined on a 5-hit shutout as Corvallis blanked Edmonton 5-0. Xander Darby was 3 for 5 with a home run for the Knights. Cade McGee was 4 for 5 with 3 runs and 4 RBI to lead Cowlitz to a non-league win over the Northwest Star Academy 14-4. That's a look at sports. Grant, back to you.
Thank you very much, Eric. And now let's check in with Dan Kuntz for a look at what's coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan?
Thanks, Grant. And tomorrow's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. It's Chris Clark, it's Troy Mick, it's Wenatchee Wild Hockey. Troy, what are we talking about?
Need billet families, need more the merrier, and we're looking forward to a great Wild season.
Clarky?
We're going to wrap up the 21-22 season and look forward to a great 22-23 season where we restore the roar.
2 of my favorite people couldn't make it, so instead we got Troy and Clark on tomorrow's Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Grant, back to you.
Thanks, guys. And that'll do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for being with us, and have a great night.
The NCWLIFE channel offers marketing packages that help you build your brand and sell your products and services. From traditional TV ads to targeted digital campaigns, let us help you build your customer base. Call NCWLIFE channel today.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCWLIFE channel.